So I'm sharing my screen and then just this is a theoretical discussion. Okay. Yeah, and before to that, I have one more point. Yesterday we have discussed different SQL Server versions, right? Do you remember or no? Do you remember or not?
Yes, sir. You showed us one site with all
Yeah,
the
one
versions.
side from there, so we can able to see the SQL Server versions. Okay, and now my question is, why it is okay? My system is little bit slow because my C drive got full. This is I am using office laptop. It is became little bit slow. That's fine. Chalo, yesterday we have discussed these servers, right? These different versions, and this is your database engine. This is your database SQL Server software, and this is the SQL Server. You will work in this software. Okay. Now, as we have discussed different versions in a SQL Server. Okay. Now you will install. Now you will install in your machine. Okay, and you will start working with this SQL Server. This is a SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. I will introduce clearly and then I will explain pin to pin every options which are available in the SSMS and required for the developers. That is no worries. I will take care. Just as we are discussing about the different versions. Now my question is, by seeing this, this is my SSMS. And as a database developer, you will join into the project. As a database developer, you will join into the project, and then they will install, or you will install the SQL Server. And you are started to using the you are going to start using the SQL Server. By seeing this SSMS, this is the SQL Server Management Studio. I used to pronounce SSMS, and everyone used to pronounce SSMS only. Okay. By seeing this SSMS, how do you identify which version you are in? How do you identify the version of this SSMS or SQL Server? That is my question. Any idea? If anyone is already using the SQL Server, do you have any idea? How do you identify by seeing this SQL Server or SSMS SQL Server Management Studio? How do you identify which version of the SQL Server you are using currently? Do you have anyone is used previously?
So
So
usually the
normal,
help and about.
yeah,
Sierra?
Yeah.
help and about, I guess.
About. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
About. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
About.
20.1.
Okay. Versions. 1 second. We will log into the site. Okay. I will clarify you. I will clarify what is that. Okay. 1 second. Let me allow 1 minute. File Explorer. File Explorer. This. Yes. Your server fronted. You don't currently have permission to access this folder. That's fine. I can now program files. Microsoft SQL Server. 1 second. 160. That's fine then. That's fine. Chalo. So by seeing leave about this, by seeing your SQL server, here you have a SQL server 16.0. 16.0 is the version of your SQL server 2012. Where is that link? See, by seeing this 16.0 is the version of your SQL server, which is SQL server 22. Like that, you will be having a 15.0, 14.0, 13.0. So by seeing in this area, you will be identify the version of the SQL server. Okay. This 20 point management one and all 20 point SQL Server objects, Microsoft SQL Server parser, analysis service, data client. Leave about this. Officially, see, officially in the site itself they have mentioned. So this is the 16.0100. So the same thing, it will be available here. So this is 16.0. This is the 2022. Like that, by seeing this, this can be called as Object Explorer. Here it will be available 16.0. 16.0. But whatever you are getting this 20.0 and all, maybe 20.0 and all, whenever you install SQL Server in your machine. So I checked the folders. It is not allowing me. It is not allowing me to access this folder actually. So this will create the files with that number 20.0 like that. So that is the thing. But by seeing this your Object Explorer area, you can able to identify the version of the SQL Server. If it is 15.0, then lower version like that. Okay, clear or not clear, guys?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, already we have discussed yesterday. Just I am repeating once again. What is database under? What is data? What is table? What is row under? So that you will perfect. And I am going to share this document with you all for the basic things. Okay. First of all, yesterday. So here we discussed. So this is our database, and the data is going to store in the form of the multiple tables. So database is a structured collection of data stored in a computer system or stored in a database. Okay. In SQL Server, database contains multiple tables. Collection of a data stored in multiple tables. You can say multiple tables. Stored in tables. You can store in tables. In SQL Server, a database contains multiple tables that store various types of related data. The meaning is database is a collection of a data, okay, structured collection of a data, and which is stored in the multiple tables, and those multiple tables will be stored different type of data. Yesterday I told you different type of data. So what type of data we can store in the database, guys, or tables? What type of data we can store? Hey, come on. Yesterday I have given the clear
I think
example.
we can store
Sorry?
numbers, strings.
Yeah, yesterday, where is that? I have written somewhere else. 1 second. Yeah. So data, which is a string, integers, dates, images, videos, documents, etc. So all your images, see, if you can store the videos, movies, audios, images, your pictures in your SQL Server tables, and your profiles, your resume, Word document, and then your PDF files, Excel files, everything you can store in the database. The same thing yesterday I mentioned here. See, you can store data is either it is a string, either it is integers, either it is the dates, images, videos, documents, etc. String. What type of the columns you are going to use actually? Suppose we have a employee data. like employee first name, employee last name, okay, city, address, those things under string functions. Yes or no, guys? And integers may be a salary, SSN number, sequence numbers, employee numbers, and mobile numbers. You can use the integers. We are going to discuss all these types of data types in detail. Okay, dates. Why are we going to use the dates? You are loading a data, you are storing a data into the table. When did you store the data? That date you are going to populate in the table. Suppose let's consider you are loading a data from the file into the table, and you need to mention or you need to load the data load date. That is nothing but if you query the data from the table, then you need to edit. So you need to understand when this data is loaded into the table. Okay. So that's why you are going to use the dates. Images. Suppose in what scenario you are going to use the images column? Suppose you join into the organization, and they will create the one profile for you. They will be having a employee ID, first name, last name, your gender, your phone number, personal details, etc. Along with all these details, there will be one column, your photo column. In that photo column, then you can store the photo. Then while storing a data into the images column, that photos images will be converted into the binary formats. Var binary or NVARCHAR. So type of data type we are going to use. And videos, that's what images, videos, documents. Once you uploaded into the SQL Server table columns, all these data will be converted into the binary format. If you query a table, select star from the table. If you have image column, videos column, and then document column, you don't see the original document, but you can see the binary format. So in that scenario, you are going to. That's what here I mentioned in this document. Okay. Same data is going to store into the tables, and SQL Server database contains the multiple tables that store the various types of related data. This is important. Various types of different data means in a table. Suppose see, you are working for the healthcare project. And then healthcare project will be having a different tables: patient details, physician details, lab details, pharmacy details, and so in each table you are going to store the data with the different data types. As I mentioned, patient ID is the integer, patient name is the string, patient date of birth is the date, patient mobile number is the integer, patient address is the string, etc. And medical history is a string, comments is a string, etc. So that's what various types of related data. So related data means what? Can you tell me, guys, what is the meaning of related data?
Data which belongs to one record.
Sorry.
The data which belongs to one record, maybe.
Okay. Related data. So related data means you are storing a data in a one table. It's all related. Suppose if you are storing a data into the patient table, then it's all whatever the number of columns are there in that column, those columns are related to patient. Yes or no? That is a related data. If you are storing a data into the physician table, and it's all the data is about the doctors. Yes or no? That is the related data. Correct or not? If you are storing about the employee data into the table, then it's all about the employee details, which is related data. Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's related. That's what we need to understand. So this is, I'm going to share it with you all this document actually. So if anyone is asked you, no one will ask you what is database, what is table and all, but this is for your understanding. This is, suppose people are here, they may be knowing the basics, but still there are people they don't know. Still there are people they don't know the basics. So for them, I'm explaining once again. And example, see, library management system database contains the tables for books, members, and then transactions. So that's what this is the one of the database. In the database for the library management system, so you can store the library management system data into the multiple tables. Like books is the one table, okay. Blocks, how many blocks you have? Blocks is the one table, and staff or employee is the one table. You can create many tables, and students who has taken the book, that student table. Based on the requirement, you can create the number of tables for the database, and then you can store the related data into those tables. How you are going to technically create database under, you no need to worry in this stage. You no need to worry in this stage. When technically we are going to start into SQL Server, then I am going to provide the meaningful syntax and then meaningful code. Technically leave about this. Generically try to understand. So what is the meaning of all these things? So this is all about the database. If you talk about the table, what is that? Table is a collection of rows and columns that store related data within a table. Yes or no? Within a database. Each row represents an entity. Each column represents a property of the entity. A table is a collection of rows and columns that stores the related data within a database. I told you in database. One second. I told you. Yeah. So the data in the database data is going to store in the multiple tables, and you are going to store the related data into the tables. And each row represents the entity, and each column represents the property of that entity. See here. Oh, here book ID. So I don't have one record example. Oh, I don't have a record example. Book ID and title, author, price. So books is the table name. Books is the table name, and then book ID, title, author, name, and the types: integer type, varchar, decimal, and all. So these are the type of the data. What type of the data you are going to store? So table is a collection of rows and columns. So in these columns you are going to insert the data. This is again technical thing. You don't worry. We are going to discuss when we are going to start. Okay. What is data? Data refers to the raw facts. Yesterday I mentioned it is a raw data. Data refers to the raw facts and figures stored in the table. Data refers to the raw facts and figures stored in the table. These are individual values stored in the rows. These are individual values stored in the rows. See here, book ID, title, author, price. These are the columns. Book ID 1, 2. This is the book name, and then this is the author, and then this is the price. So this is raw data. When you convert into the meaningful, when you process the data into the meaningful data, then it will become an information that we will see. Data refers to the raw factor or figures without context. In SQL, data is stored in tables as a rows and columns. Okay, that if you see the information, for now just try to understand. The data it's a raw data you are going to store into the columns, and by seeing this doesn't give the much meaningful. If you process this data for your requirement, then it is going to give the meaningful information. So that is information. See, information is meaningful and then processed data that helps. See, information is meaningful and processed data that helps in decision making, and it is obtained by querying the database. Okay, information is processed, organized, or aggregated, that is useful for the analysis. See, already you have a data in this books table. Okay, if you retrieve a data from the database, if you want to find all the books written by a Jan do, so we write a query. Okay, so here raw data is processed into useful information. So you are querying and then retrieving a data of the author Jan do, retrieving a number of books and then its price. So you are processing the data and then it is becoming a meaningful information. So you are retrieving a data for the particular author. So how many books these books are written by this author, and then what is the price. So by seeing that you can mention the column name here, author also. By seeing this data, who is the author, and then what is the book he has written, and then what is the price. So for that book, so like this, so you can frame the information is processed or organized or aggregated, whatever it is, that is useful for the analysis. So based on that, you can take the analysis on your data. So here raw data is processed into the useful information, list of books by Jan 2. So this is the information. Okay, now rows. Any question, guys?
No, sir.
Okay. Row is a horizontal entry in a table that holds the set of related values. Each row uniquely represents a single record in the table. Suppose see here, horizontal. So this is the rows. This is the row, one row. Horizontal. This is the one row, and then vertical. This is the column. The same thing he is explaining here. Row is a horizontal entry in a table. Row is a horizontal entry in a table that holds a set of related values. That holds a set of related values. Related values means what? Here, see here, order ID. So this entire record, entire row is talking about this order ID. Order amount is this, what is the profit is this, how many quantity, what is the category, what is the subcategory. So that is a row, that is a related values. See here. Each row uniquely represents a single record in a table. Horizontal entry in a table that holds a set of related values. Okay. Each row uniquely represents a single record. Okay. So here, this is the one record. So a book ID, all these values, SQL Server basics, Jan do, and then price. These things and I'll talk about this book ID. That is a related values. Row number 2. This is the book ID, and all these things are talking. All these column values are talking about book ID 2. So this is the related values, and then this is row. Horizontal entry. Clear or not clear, guys? Tell me. What is the meaning of database? What is the meaning of data, table, row, information? Clearly. Hey, come on.
It's clear, sir. It's clear.
Clear, sir.
Others.
Yes, sir.
Clear, right? Chalo. Then now we'll start one more new topic. So how many types of database we have in the SQL Server, guys? Any idea? How many types of database we have in SQL Server?
2 types.
Master model TMDB, MSDB.
That is okay.
4 types.
Okay.
Two types, I guess. Logical and physical.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'm
So
like
I
very-
remember the OLAP and OLTP, I think. Something you just said yesterday. Is that the types?
That is different. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. Let me explain. Actually, databases are in SQL Server. Okay. Databases are in SQL Server. Okay, 1 second. I have listed out here. user-defined database, system-defined database. So these are the two types of databases you have in the SQL Server. User-defined database and then system-defined database. I will tell you what is the meaning of these two database and all, okay? Any idea what is the meaning of user-defined database and then what is the meaning of system-defined database?
I think user-defined means it is the database which we will be creating to maintain data, and system is the one which system creates automatically to support the functions of the database which we create.
Others? Amrita, Kavita, Rohit?
This is the similar idea that I have.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see now. See, user-defined databases. User-defined database. These databases are created by users or applications to store the business-related data. Yesterday, I was explaining this is the database, and then in this database, you are going to store, okay? I have taken the example yesterday, electricity board and bank. Okay, that is a business data. So this is your user-defined database, which is created by users or application, and then you store the business data into the database. That is what user-defined database. Okay, and in SQL Server, maximum, I guess, 1024. So these are the user-defined database. These are the user-defined database in SQL Server. Maximum 1024 user-defined databases you can create. And those user-defined purpose, the user-defined databases are to store the business data. One database is, suppose, example, you have a e-commerce business, Amazon e-commerce business, and for entire geographical e-commerce business, you can't store the geographical data into the only one database. So the business people, they will decide, they will do the lot of analysis on that, and they will draw the architecture of their business, and then they will do the lot of analysis on that, and they will make a final decision how many database they can create for the entire business of e-commerce or Amazon, for geographical wise, category wise, okay, business product wise, whatever it is, based on their criteria, based on their architecture, based on their business, they will create the multiple databases, and they are going to store the data into the different databases, so that we will be having a multiple user defined databases in one SQL Server instance. This is one SQL Server instance. This is one SQL Server instance or one server. In this server, you will be having system defined databases, and you will be having a user defined databases. That is what we are going to discuss. We are discussing here. User defined database is the databases which are created by users or application. Application means what? E-commerce is the application. Amazon is application. Whenever you place the order in the Amazon portal, so that is application. In the backend, the data is going to store into the multiple tables. Okay, to store the business related data. Fine. And in architecture wise, actually, if I talk to talk about the architecture, I need minimum 1 hour for this user defined database, because I have a architecture diagram, and I need to give you the end-to-end knowledge on that. I don't want to give the just high level. That's what, instead of just as today's weekend, I am thinking to wind up the session little bit early. So that's it. I am giving the introduction. What is the meaning of user-defined database? And then what is the meaning of system-defined database? Now let me know, guys, at least theoretically, do you clear or not clear? What is the meaning of user-defined database? I will tell you system-defined database.
This is clear.
Yeah, it is clear.
No, actually, tomorrow I will take the one complete session to discuss about this user-defined database architecture. User-defined architecture. This is the user-defined database, and then once you create this user-defined database, Internally, how many files are created? And what is the best practice? 1 second. 1 second. I have a even Excel, not this one. Yeah. So this is the user-defined database. Data files, log files, everything. This is a different. So interesting story, and you need to understand that the such a internal level, because simply user-defined database is a database which is created by a users or applications, and to store the business data under that is not sufficient. You need to understand the internals, what is happening, primary data file, secondary data file, log file, what is there in this database, everything. I will take complete 1 hour session tomorrow, and then we will discuss in tomorrow session. We will discuss this user defined database architecture and close the session. Just we can write. I am going to close the session little bit early. Now this is just high level information. What is user defined database and what is a system defined database? Any idea?
I think these are the supporting functions or dependencies that are required to support the user created database.
No, can you repeat once again?
These are the dependencies that the system or the database creates to support the
No,
user created database.
I am asking about the system defined database. What is system defined database? Any idea?
No idea, sir.
Okay, others. Let me explain. System defined database means these databases are created. Okay, these databases, 1 second here. This is not a proper sentence. 1 second. I have proper sentence here. These databases are automatically created when SQL Server is installed and are essential for its operation. These databases are automatically created when SQL Server is installed, and these databases are essential for its operation. That's what. Whenever you install SQL Server in your machine, whenever you install SQL Server in your machine, these system databases are automatically going to create. You are not going to create all these databases, and these databases are very much important, are very much essential. Its operations. These databases, system databases, are not created for simply each and every database. Each and every database has its own significance and its own importance. Without these, any one system data, suppose you install SQL Server and these 4 system databases are created. Unfortunately, if any one database is corrupted, if it is not working, means any one system database, your SQL Server will not be work. SQL Server will not be work. Okay. System defined databases are automatically created whenever you install SQL Server instance in your machine, and these system databases are having its own importance, significance, and which are very much essential for its operation of your SQL Server. Without any one system database, your SQL Server will not work. And whatever you are seeing on the screen, master database, model database, MS database, temporary database, each and every database have its own meaningful, and each and every database are going to store, are going to have its own data of your SQL Server. And what is the importance of each and every database under? We will discuss after completion of your user defined architecture. Is that fine, guys? I am thinking to start the session little bit early today. Is that fine for you?
Yeah,
Yeah, no problems.
that's fine.
Tomorrow
Yes.
also we will connect. And then we'll discuss this architecture. We'll discuss this architecture, and I will 1 second. Can you mute? Yeah, I will give the very good explanation, and I will give the very good architecture. Don't miss anyone, and you don't understand easily if you want to study yourself this architecture. Only the people can explain the easily and very in details about the architecture who is having the strong experience on the system. Then only they can explain the architecture very clearly, and they can only make you understand point by point. As I have more than 15 years of experience on the system, and I have seen lot many databases, and as my level best, I will try to give the very good explanation on the database architecture, and don't miss anyone. Fine, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Then one more thing. Yeah, sir. So today also they are pinging me, and regarding the registration, maybe they will change the link by tomorrow. I don't know, but usually they are going to allow only for a 2 to 3 demo session for free. That is take a call, okay? Before going to
Yeah.
join by tomorrow session, it is good actually if you make the registrations, okay?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you don't make the registrations, and then if they change the link, and then you don't get the link, and they will send the updated or new link who has made the registration. So for them only they are going to send, and then if you don't make the registration, you don't get the updated one, okay?
Yeah.
Fine.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
our classes are Monday to Friday, or we have on weekends?
Yeah, no,
also?
Monday to Friday only.
Okay.
This weekend I have taken because of to maintain the little bit continuity.
Okay.
Because we are new into the world, right? We are new into the world.
Right.
If you miss the continuity, if I give the 2 to 3 days, 2 days gap, then you will forget everything. Yes or no?
Okay. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So we will connect. We will also connect tomorrow, and then have some good discussion on that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello guys. If you don't have any queries or gaps, then we are good to close. Or if you have any doubts or queries, then you can let me know. I will give you the explanation on that.
Nothing, sir.
No
Others?
doubts.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
no doubts,
thank-
sir. Right.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. And
Thank you.
tomorrow we have a session, same time. Tomorrow we have a
Okay.
session, same time.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.